Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises to manage clients and projects with max efficiency, sharing Wix's SEO tech to help you drive growth.
Fix errors, waste, and issues in a couple of clicks. Get alerted whenever you're off track. Sign up at trueclicks.com.
Hi, thank you everyone. So, so the year is 2016, and I'm a little bit younger, I'm a little bit greener, a little bit slimmer, and I've been put in charge of quite a large site migration. And one of the tasks that I had to do was to make sure that all the content on the old site was present on the new site, which, when dealing with tens of thousands of pages, that was quite a daunting task for me. So while I was trying to figure out the best way to do it, my manager at the time says to me, "Why don't you just do customer extraction?" And I'm saying to myself, what the hell is that? So many points, when he shows it to me, it blew my mind. So therefore, I made it my mission to make sure that I knew everything there is to know about customer extractions, so I can share it with all of you today. So, what you need, you need some really basic SEO, HTML knowledge. And when I say basic, I'm talking what is an HTML tag, that level of basic. I'm going to be sharing this deck. So for now, I just want you to understand the fundamentals and not worry too much about the syntax because you can have a look at that later. And then I'll be sharing a cheat sheet as well. And this talk will focus on Screaming Frog. However, other scraping tools are available, which I'll touch on a few of those in a little bit as well. So I understand some of you might not be able to see the slides very clearly. So if you go to seogreetings.com/Xpath, the deck will be there, and you can follow along as I'm talking if you want. If you do that, just make sure you press the three dots on the deck and go full screen. Otherwise, you might not be able to see it either. So we'll start with the basics. What is a custom extraction? So according to Screaming Frog, a custom extraction allows you to scrape any data from the HTML of a web page using Xpath or regex. So translation, get any piece of information you want from any web page. So there's several tools which can do this. I say I'm going to be focusing on Screaming Frog, but other tools are available, including Google Sheets, or you can build your own tool as well if you want to. So, but to do this in Screaming Frog, all you do is go to configuration, custom, then custom extraction, add your Xpath. When you do your crawl, your custom extraction report will have all of the content you're trying to scrape in a nice handy list. So there's two primary ways to do a custom extraction. One is Xpath and one is regex. Now, the basics of regex are really easy. So the barrier to entry is quite low. Literally, all you're doing is taking the content that you want to extract and replacing it with .star ? Easy as that. However, if your HTML gets any more complex than that, so if you add things like classes or other attributes to your tag, if you add line breaks, if you add a white space around that, the regex gets a bit more complex. And I'm looking at this, I haven't got a clue what this means. So trying to debug it, trying to extract anything that's beyond the basics gets quite complicated. However, the equivalent in Xpath is this. So whilst Xpath might be difficult to get your head around, might be difficult to understand how it works, once you understand the basics, there's not a huge amount else that you need to learn. So let's start with a real-world example. So here I've got, I want to extract the title tag of this simple piece of HTML. So the structure of the HTML document, the title is within the head tag, which is within the HTML tag. So all you do is put a slash in between them. And if you put this into Screaming Frog, it will actually extract all of the title tags within your custom extraction report. But we can make it even easier. rather than knowing what the HTML structure of every tag that you're trying to extract, you can just put a double slash in front of it and it will search the entire document for examples of this title tag, for example. And as a pro tip, if you go into your Chrome DevTools or Inspect Element or whatever you want to call it, and if you do a Control F of a search, if you put your Xpath in there, it will go to the HTML that you're looking at. So it's a really good way of debugging it before you add it into Screaming Frog and start your crawl. And that's the basics. So congratulations, you can all do Xpath. Nice and easy. But what if there's more than one a tag of that type that you're trying to extract? So here's an example of a simple web page, and I want to extract a div. There's 500 of them there. It's just not feasible to do it the way that I've just shown you. And here's an example of a relatively tidy HTML page, but as you can see, if you're, it can be really easy to get completely overwhelmed by what's there. So there are several solutions to this. The first is you can go into Inspect Elements in or a Chrome DevTools, go to the piece of HTML that you want to extract, right-click and click a Copy Xpath. This is how many people learn how to do this, but here's an example of the Xpath that's generated. So I'm going to run you very quickly over what this means. So, and this is from a typical web page that I did this for. It wasn't anything complicated. So we're looking at the fourth span of the first P tag within the fourth div, within the first div, within the first div, within the fourth div, within the second div, within the first div, within anything that has an ID of product search results. Fucking hell. As well as being ugly as, like, it's impossible to debug, and if your HTML template differs even slightly from page to page, it just won't work. So we need something a bit simpler. So solution 2, Screaming Frog have in the last year released a tool that's actually really good. So all you do, you go into this tool, highlight the text that you want to extract, and it will create an Xpath for you. Now, it's a little bit limited because it can only scrape what you can see. So if you want to do anything a little bit more advanced, it struggles with that. But if you're learning, it's a really good way to get started. Well, solution 3 is my solution, and that is to target the attributes. Now, here is a simple HTML tag. It'll look familiar to most of you. And the attribute is the little bit that goes inside of the HTML tag as my highly technical definition. So in this example, the attribute is the class. Here's some more examples of attributes. So you've probably heard of the rel attribute for nofollow links. And there's the href attribute that you get in links as well. So let's break it down a little bit and how it works. So here you have a div tag, and you've got the attribute type, which is class, and you got the attribute value, in this example, is page result count. Now, the attribute in question doesn't have to be a class. It can be anything at all. I'll show you some examples of that later. So you got your div, you got your attribute type, and you got your attribute value. And there's two solutions for this. Because I work in digital marketing, I like to call them exact match and phrase match. So let's have a look at the exact match version first. And this is the simpler version. And all you do your double slash div, which is your HTML tag, and that will search the whole document for any divs within your HTML. Then you open your brackets and then put @class, and in this case is the attribute type, equals your attribute value, in this case as page result count. And that will detect anything that is contained within this HTML tag here, and only this HTML tag. Now, you might have other attributes in here as well, but let's keep it simple. Now, the solution 2, and this is a little bit more complicated. So this is what I call a phrase match. So again, you start off with //div, and it will look for any div within your HTML. And then you open your brackets and then do a contains function. And within your contains function, you put your attribute type and your attribute value. Now, this will detect the content of each of these three types of HTML tag. So you got your exact match one, which I showed you in the previous slide. But now this is also really useful if your attribute has multiple values. So quite often, a class might have multiple classes within it. But it will also detect the third one as well. So that's if your class type has a little bit on the end. So you do need to be a little bit careful if you use this method, because you might end up catching content that you didn't mean to do. Now you can also target the parent elements. So looking at, say if we want to extract this anchor text of this link. Now, just like school and summer, this link has no class. So rather than target just this link, we might want to target the parent element of this link as well. So I'll show you an example. So again, you start off, you're looking to target the div, so you go //div, open brackets, at class equals, in this case, target. And then at the end, you just put /a. Simple as that. Usually it is. Sometimes you might end up with an example like this, where you have HTML tags that are between your target div and the tag that you're trying to extract. So in this case, you got some divs, you got some p tags, you got some lists in there. So in this case, the previous example that I showed you will not work. The solution, you can use a double slash. So rather than have, so you get //div at class equals target, and then have your /a at the end, and that will search it will search everything within that div, looking for this link. So let's just summarize these. So a single slash will only extract the direct child elements of that HTML. It will not extract the child's child elements. A double slash will extract everything other matches within there. It doesn't matter how far it's buried. Now, it's really good for clutter code, but again, you need to be a little bit careful that you're not extracting things that you don't mean that you don't want. So that is actually 95% of all of the custom extractions that you'll do, and hopefully it's not been too daunting for you. But we can go a little bit further. And so in this example, say if we want to get the value of the attribute. So say if we want to find out if a link is a no follow or not, is a good example. So in this example, I've used an image. So in this example, I want to get the URL of the image, and I want to get the alt text. Say if I want to order the alt text of a website. So you start off, you target your div at the top, you go //div, open brackets, at class equals class name, great. And then you go /img, just because you want to target your image tag, and then /@alt, so the at there is the important bit, and that will extract the this alt attribute value here, or //div at class equals class name /img, and I'm repeating a lot, but it helps to embed it in your mind. And then at the end do /src, and that will get the URL of the link of the image. So we've got some more advanced stuff here. So say sometimes the HTML tag that you're trying to extract won't be unique. So an example here would be if you've got a list of her reviews. Those reviews will use the same HTML template, but we might only be interested in the first one. So all you do, you wrap your Xpath in brackets, and then at the end, open square bracket, and then put the number of the tag that you want to extract. So it's either 1, 2, or 3. Easy as that. And now we can have a look at some functions. So we've already had a look at the contains function before, which is what I used for the phrase match example. So let's have a look at a couple more. So here we got a count, and a count does basically what it says on the tin. If you want to know how many times some HTML appears on your site, you can get your Xpath for that HTML, put count in front of it and wrap it in brackets. Simple as that. And that will, in your custom extraction report, it'll just generate a list of numbers. Normalize space. So if any of you have used trim in Excel before, this works in exactly the same way. You put normalize space, wrap it in brackets, and it will remove any white space from the content that you're trying to extract. And that's it. So let me just show you some real-world examples, because I appreciate I've kind of gone very fast here. So say if we want to identify thin categories within our website. Now, a lot of times, e-commerce categories will very kindly tell you how many products are in that category. So you can extract that text there. So here's an example of how it would look. Obviously, it's different depending on the website. Now, sometimes a website will not show this handy little number on its categories. So in that case, what we can do is find a product card that's on a category page, find some common HTML that's in that card, generate some Xpath for it, and then use the count function, and then you can count how many products are on that particular page. You can automate your redirect mapping for site migrations. So say if the SKU is present on a page, you can extract what that SKU is for every single product. Do that on the current website, do it on the new website, and then you can do a VLOOKUP between the old and the new URLs, and then suddenly you've mapped thousands of redirects in one go. You can find all of the internal links from an article. So this one's a little bit more detailed than previous examples I've shown you, but the basics are the same. But you can find all the external links. Now, for this one, I've introduced a new parameter called, a new function called not. It does what it says on the tin. So we could look for any links that do not contain your home, your website's domain. Or you can look for no-follow links. So you can, again, use your contains and rel equals no-follow. Or author links. So most articles will have the name of the author on a page somewhere. You put a list of articles on there, find the HTML for that author, and then you can get a list of authors for every single article. Now, most of you will probably be aware of phrases like this. Now, if your website is reliant on a lot of UGC or cheap content writers, then crappy AI is a problem that you might that you need to be aware of. So what we can do, we can create Xpath for each of these. So here is a new function called text, and you can have a look for if the text contains realm of or world of or in summary, ever changing. And then you can use an or operator as well, so you can wrap it all in a single set of brackets, stick or in between them all, and then you can have a single Xpath that searches your whole website for examples of this crappy AI content. So I'm actually ahead of time, it's great. Because this is SEO in 2024, I'm going to be talking about AI, and the fact is AI is going to deprecate everything I've just told you. Encouraging to know. So rather than looking at the HTML and learning what the Xpath is for that HTML, we can just ask AI, tell me the information that I want to know. So what I've got here, it's a little bit blurred, but I integrated AI into a Google Sheet, gave it a list of articles, and I said, for each of these articles, I want you to tell me who wrote it and when it was published. No HTML needed, and it's done a pretty good job. Now, it's only like a prototype example, but this could be where things are going to go. And that's it. So hopefully I've not bored you too much. But if you scan this QR code, it'll take you to the deck, or you can go to this URL here, or I'll be sharing it on socials as well. So thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of Brighton SEO.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.
Demand Sphere. Limitless visual insights from the SERPs. Unlimited dashboards and users. Easy to use and easy to scale your growth to new levels.